many airlines still don't have clear policies in place to accommodate plus-size passengers. That's why I've started a petition calling on the FAA to require every airline to have a clear customer size policy in place for plus-size passengers.
Ruslan.
Plus-size airline passenger demands free seats and divides the internet. I sent this to Ray earlier.
Yeah, I didn't get to see this.
Ah, yeah. So
y'all gonna get a raw take from me. There's no setup for this, all right?
Oh, man. Have you guys heard of this story?
Billion people in the world are plus size. That's roughly 13% of the population. And yet, many airlines still don't have clear policies in place to accommodate plus size passengers. That's why I've started a petition calling on the FAA to require every airline to have a clear customer size policy in place for plus size passengers. No one should have to endure the discomfort, embarrassment, and discrimination that often comes with being a plus size passenger trying to navigate air travel. By signing this petition, you can help us demand that airlines take concrete steps to make air travel more inclusive and accommodating for all passengers. Whether you're plus size or not, everybody deserves to be treated with dignity and respect when they fly. Let's work together to make sure that the travel industry serves everyone, not just a select few. Sign and share this petition, and let's make a difference.
All right. So let me read you guys the article. Plus-size air traveler has divided opinion after she said she should not have to be forced to buy 2 airline seats because of her size. Okay, that's the current policy. The plus-size blogger, her name is Jalen, from Vancouver, Washington, has long advocated for better flying conditions for plus-size people. She started a Change.org petition to encourage the Federal Aviation Administration to alter its policies. More than 41% of the U.S. population is obese, according to the CDC, and airlines have a varying policy of customers of size. These include requiring them to buy a second seat if they don't lower the armrest due to their size or fit comfortably into one seat. Some policies allow passengers to get a refund on the second ticket if at least one seat is available on the flight after takeoff. Air travel should be comfortable and accessible for everyone, regardless of size. A plus-size traveler, my partner and I have unfortunately experienced discrimination and discomfort while flying. And she goes on to basically say that the government, I think, should subsidize all of this, and that they should change the size of the bathrooms because those bathrooms on airplanes are pretty small. And and it has the internet completely in a roar. Okay, and so what do you guys think about this topic? Because this is a contentious one, right? Thoughts?
Man, oh man, I liked looking at the fine print.
Okay,
and the fine print basically says that all the seats are made a particular size, right? And that the people who buy a ticket are guaranteed to have a certain amount of arm to be able to have at least one armrest. You get what I'm saying? And
Ray is traveling, talking like a traveler.
Yeah. well, that's and it's quoted there too in the article a little bit about the armrest. And so in my mind, okay, you know, if this is the standard size of the seat, you get what I mean, and you're infringing on someone else's space. You know, and that person's guaranteed that, you know, or they can afford the, I think that, you know, everyone should be held accountable to what space they're taking up, right? So if you want a bigger seat, if you want more than one armrest, right, then you have to pay more, all right? And I know that's not going to be popular with some people because now we're going to get to the exception, right? There are people who are not morbidly obese, but are large. You know, I have friends of mine.
Okay, hold on. You got to unpack it. Just tall. You're talking about, like someone in here said I'm 6'7", and it's very uncomfortable. You're talking about folks like that? Okay,
things like that. I got friends of mine who are 6'5", okay, lean, you know.
In good shape.
In good shape.
Yes.
You know,
and are not comfortable traveling.
Yeah, are not comfortable traveling. And guys, if you think you're uncomfortable in an American airline, a European airline is worse.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So now the idea, though, this is where I'm the empathetic side of me is there. The idea of doing how you say what they were saying, government subsidies.
Yeah.
You know?
Subsidies. Yeah.
Subsidies for people with certain conditions, right? And there being enough people who, if there's enough people who want that and enough people agree, there's tons of things that my taxes go to that I don't agree in. But the problem is that there's more people who agree more than I do. You know what I'm saying? And it is what it is.
I think the government's a little reckless with how they spend tax money. Hey, you want to see something kind of crazy? Over 75% of the people that watch this channel are not subscribed. Please consider subscribing and turning your bell notification on so that you don't miss anything we have going here. Here's what I would say. I think, what percentage of people who are morbidly obese that need 2 seats that have a condition where they can't control it?
Right.
What percentage? Right? I think there's thyroid issues.
Yeah.
I think there might be one other condition.
That's a really good point. Thyroid is a big one because that's really hard to control.
Yes. And there are people who, in being responsible to take care of their mental health, will get on certain medication. I think this is specifically for schizophrenia, and it happened to Kanye with bipolar. Right. And there's certain medications that will plump you up.
Absolutely.
And distort your
even people who have asthma, sometimes their pumps will make their face swollen.
Yes. Yeah. So my question would be, out of the 40% of people that are, obese, morbidly obese, 70% of people are overweight, what percentage of the people that need 2 seats actually can't control it? And it got to a point because
That's a good take, man.
You know what I mean? They had now I'm going to venture off to say something.
My take sucks, guys. That was a good one.
No, but I would venture off to say something. It's a very, 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 very small minority of people who legitimately are needing 2 seats that can't control it.
Right.
And I think to coddle and to accommodate those people does them more harm than good.
Oh, yeah, and then how do you create a hierarchy for those people? Right? Because so, for example, how do you create a hierarchy where some people who want just the extra space and the people who really need it, you know what I mean? Like, do you now reveal your personal medical records?
I think if you want a free extra seat, yeah.
Right, but this is what I'm saying. Like, some people would say, well, I don't want to give away my personal information.
Tough.
You know what I'm saying?
Tough. You trying to get taxpayers to pay for an extra flight? By the way, I'm sure you know this, but airlines already are operating at a razor sharp margin, meaning that what it costs to fuel, what it costs to service, what it costs to do.
Oversell seats.
This is why they oversell seats. So the airline industry is already struggling.
Yeah.
And to then create, they need to redo everything and give these people free seats, and the government needs to step in and all this kind of stuff. It's like, or we can educate people on healthy choices and how to turn it around so that you're not like victimized in this state that you're in. And by the way, and dig this, because there are actual people that don't control this and want to travel, and they end up getting humiliated, specifically people with disabilities, people in wheelchairs. If you hear how they have to travel, it's humiliating. You know what I mean? They're like $5,000 wheelchairs getting completely destroyed because the airline is completely reckless with it, having to be asked to go to the bathroom and someone needing to pick you up. Like those, my opinion, those people should be the ones that get some sort of subsidies. The people that have no control over their actual disability, you know what I mean? And not folks who are morbidly obese and like don't want to go on walks and don't want to eat more broccoli.
And I want to be sensitive to the mental health issue that some people have, because there's a level of mental work that needs to be done for some people to believe that they can lose weight.
Yes.
On the flip side, why are we going to take subsidies for something that there's a standard in the size of the seat? Mm-hmm. Why aren't we taking subsidies to educate people on what they eat?
That's right.
Schools.
That's right.
Right. So
you know why? And it's not me getting Mr. Conspiratorial, because our government is in bed with high fructose corn syrup, with the sugar industry. We've paid farmers to produce sugar, and so that we wouldn't have to import sugar. And so it's all government subsidized. So the stuff we actually subsidize is the very stuff that's killing us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's why. This is like, why would they? Like, it's easier to subsidize this stuff in the name of farmers and economy, but it's actually, the stuff we subsidize is terrible for us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that's why we're not like running around. It's easier to treat the symptom than it is to deal with the root problem.
Yeah, or even the subsidy for people with mental health that is connected to their weight.
Sure.
You know
sure.
what I mean?
The tough part about that is it's like, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? Is it the mental health that's keeping you unhealthy, or is it being unhealthy that's keeping you struggling with your mental health? You know what I mean? Like that's a very complicated balance there.
Yeah, and to tell you the truth, believe it or not, we can't be dualistic. It's both, right?
Sure, to varying degrees.
If you eat things that are not good for you,
yes,
you're not gonna feel well. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But if you feed yourself things mentally, you're not gonna feel good either.
That's a fact. That's a fact. So anyway, I thought this whole thing was very fascinating. I feel for this lady, but I also feel like, man, if we're in a space as a society where we are just completely coddling people's own dysfunctions, we are harming people in the name of helping them.
Right.
And that is not good. I hope that a trainer, a coach reached out to her. I hope that someone reached out to her to help her just take some steps in the right direction, because I don't listen, man, there's certain things that we don't get to do based on what season we're in. If you're in a season where you need 2 seats and you can't afford 2 seats, you don't get to go travel. Like, I hate traveling. So I don't even know why anybody in this state would want to even travel. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, traveling is not fun. Shout out to Queen. She said, this is the best take. The take of the night. This is the take of the night. She says, I feel like if people did research about what it takes to get a plane into the air, they would be less personally offended.
Well, you know what's interesting? Depending on the size of plane you get on, right? Because if you live somewhere like in Shippensburg, Pennsylvania, there's a small plane, right, that fits only 9 people, right? And depending on your weight, you might have to sit in a different side of the plane. Because there's issues in flying the plane when the weight is not evenly distributed. I don't know if you ever got into one of those little planes.
No, I'm terrified of those little planes. So bro. I went skydiving once, and that was horrifying.
Yeah, in my line of business, I fly a lot.
Yeah,
and there's 2 types of little planes. There's the crop duster, right? That's like maybe like a 5-person, like max 5 people fit in there, right? Where you can slap the pilot in the back of the head, right? And then there's like the 6-person 9-seater plane. That it's it's a small like G4 type of plane, but it's commercial. Sure. And there's times where I've been seating where there's too many people on this side of the plane, and I've been asked, "Hey, we need to manage the weight." And it wasn't that they singled me out on my weight, but just because there's more people sitting on this A row, and we need more people sitting on this C and D row.
Wow, there we go. Now we're educated on that. All right. Hey, this is a segment from our daily after party stream. Consider partnering with us online for as little as $5 a month to get access to these daily after party streams completely unedited. You'll also get access to our podcast as they are streamed live into the community before anyone else gets to see them, get to interact with our guests, get access to our private Discord server, and a discount code for our store for as little as $5 a month. Ultimately, that will help towards helping us continue contextualizing the gospel using media and podcast here on YouTube. All right, I'll see you over there. Peace.